Hey guys, it's me, Skelly Games here, with some Sea of Thieves. Now, in today's video, we are going to be attempting a skull fort, as this is absolutely the best way to become the most feared pirate on the Sea of Thieves, and get that elusive pirate legend title. Now, in today's video, I will be joined by two of my closest friends. That is Isaac028 is one of them, and someone with a ridiculously long username, who we will call Theo, is the other one. Now, that massive skull you can see in the sky is where the fort is. Let's go. Just approaching the skull fort now, and these newbie skeletons are trying to hit me. How dare they? I then use some evasive maneuvers and my incredible sailing skills to completely dodge most of the cannonballs. Isaac absolutely hated this and says crud in the chat. This made me chuckle because he really needn't worry, as my incredible sailing skills would get us through this. I am, of course, just kidding. I just think it's funny how bad they are. I mean, in like a recent update, they were buffed, but clearly not on the cannons, and it's just amusing, I think. Then I think that rock over there is a shit, slightly poo myself, and then calm down. It's all good. In fact, I'm so confident in myself, I'm literally not looking. They then change how they are doing things, in the sense that they're now aiming up to try and hit me. Us. I keep forgetting that I would. Theo then shoots himself out of a cannon to go and kill the skeletons, which doesn't kill him, which means it is extremely unrealistic and actually slightly disappointing. Isaac hits the anchor and exclaims that it was some excellent parking, and it was, until 2 seconds later when we get shot at. I'm just kidding, it was actually something more like 10. I tried to harpoon the skeletons and then blunderbuss them, because I'm just that much of a pro gamer. Isaac is shouting at me to go and help him, so I do. Some great anchor raising gameplay. We are still being lit up, and I run back. Cut to the daytime, and we still haven't parked, which just goes to show how difficult this is. I lower the anchor and it's absolutely perfect. Theo is still on the island, he hasn't died yet, which is a surprise actually. And he is now shouting at me to help him. I sort of stand on the end of the bow and stare at him. He then says, "Please!" So naturally I look away, and then he starts shouting at me again, so I jump into the water to go and save him. This is a recurring theme when we play Sea of Thieves, unfortunately. I blunderbuss most of them, and then run in for the kill. Getting that combo kill. Just some excellent stuff. I then knock around with some cannons, and go and inspect this rowboat. Really riveting stuff. I'm just kidding. At the time this is set, riveting hadn't been invented yet. Isaac and Theo murder some skeletons while I watch on. Content. That sound signals the new wave. So naturally we're all hyped, because it means we're one step closer to completing the fort. I'm trying to get this skeleton, and I hear a fuse going, so I run. If you're wondering what that fuse is, it's actually a skeleton holding a gunpowder barrel. Theo finds this hilarious, but that's just his kind of comedy. I go and check the chest in the rowboat, which actually has some pretty good loot. That's definitely going to come in handy later. These skeletons are nice and simple, and unfortunately there was barely any variation at this fort. I go after one of these suicide skeletons, and he disappears. Aliens in Sea of Thieves? Confirmed? Question mark? That is the perfect example of how the gunpowder skeletons work. They blow themselves up and most of their friends in an effort to kill you. Really immersive stuff, this. Isaac then revives me, like the legend he is. I get up and immediately lag. This isn't good, so I whip out my blunderbuss, like that's gonna help me in the fight against lag. I see a bunch of them being skeletons, running towards me. So naturally, I take a pop shot at them, and because the blunderbuss is just so awful, I miss. Unlike that skeleton there. I just don't like how accurate the skeleton's blunderbusses are. Anyway, I'm being chased down by one of these skeleton bombers, and I get shot by one of his buddies. Pretty not ideal. I don't get revived and have to spend 5 minutes on the further down. I then leave and let's just get a good look at my character. Here's what it looks like. This is the Nightshine Parrot set with the Ashen Curse and some face paint. I then spend a couple of minutes just sorting out the positioning of the ship so I can use the cannons later on when we're fighting the boss. I use my big gamer brain to harpoon us down because that's a lot easier to quick release and get away than anchoring. So yeah, I'm just cutting down these skeletons, and Isaac proceeds to blow up my stash of gunpowder barrels. Naturally, I go and check because we have sometimes been having a glitch recently where only one blows up if there's a bunch of them. Unfortunately, that glitch did not strike then. The rowboat that I was trying to save then gets blown into the middle of next week, which is unfortunate, but hey, more rowboat gameplay until it gets exploded again and dies. 1 like equals 1 prayer for the rowboat. Make sure, guys, hit the like button to pray for the rowboat, you guys. Otherwise, the robot will actually come and haunt you in your sleep. Enough cringe. Back to the extremely informative gameplay, and I get blown up as Isaac shoots the gunpowder barrel. Theo then pops this guy in the legs, goes to collect the gunpowder barrel, and Isaac pulls an epic prank and blows him up. Only the most epic pranks on this channel. Theo is then revived. I continue dancing on him because I'm just that much of a gamer. I announce that my blunderbuss is drawn. Isaac says GG, and then Captain Tom Picaroon spawns in. He is no match for myself, Theo and Isaac. I say myself, Theo and Isaac. Theo runs away. We kill him, and then the Ashen Guardian spawn, who for some reason is leaking burnt cornflakes. I don't know why he does that. He just does. I then pick up his stuff and go and dig up where this axe is. Spoiler alert, it is actually an ashen chest. Or at least I thought it was there. It wasn't. And I did a big dum-dum. It's actually here. Look at that. Using pro gamer plays, I dig it up. And then the mutinous helmsman spawns. For some reason I had a little bit of an issue with my recording, so cut out a little bit of that, but it's all good. There's the ashen chest in all of its glory. I go after the mutinous helmsman, and yeah, light the fuse. I'm clever enough to run away though. He stands there because he's a noob and then sinks into the ground. I guess he was just that scared. I'm now chasing after him to get some good gameplay, and he's running after me. This is the perfect opportunity to kill him, and then he sinks into the ground, and that's just a fact. He's clearly a massive wuss. They have now spent 10 minutes fighting, and I land a killer shot, literally, and completely saved the day. Without that, they would never have killed him, I can just tell that. Theo unlocks the vault, says got him, and just look at all of this loot. It's just incredible. So, here we are then, just in the vault. I am admiring all of the loot. I spot a massive gunpowder barrel, zoom in on it, and then Theo blows it up. That's just the kind of epic prank I hope we can expect from him in the future. So I die, I don't get revived because we're also all dead. Isaac hates this because he needed the rep, and they have a bit of a falling out. We then break Theo because he broke one of the rules we have, which is don't blow up the mega keg. I then suggest that we should put the treasure on the pier and I can harpoon it, which would be good if my harpoon aim was on point. So Isaac's just gone to get the loot. I'm practicing the sweet spot for the harpoon. I accidentally get him after he's put lots of loot down. You can see the change of day, which really does just go to show how difficult it is to get some skulls. He then says, don't harpoon the chest, so naturally I do. That's just the kind of gamer prank that I like to pull occasionally. Because I'm nice, I get my beautiful clothes wet and give him the chest. Now it's night time and I'm still failing ridiculously. It's not great, and at this point I'm starting to give up. This is Theo's punishment, by the way, for being in the brig. I was hoping for something that wasn't the plain sailor dress, but there we go. I was hoping maybe he'd splash the cash on a dress. Isaac tells me I can do it. I tell him to heck off, because this is getting annoying. And Isaac then says, oh wait, just to rub it in. I then harpoon him, in revenge. Although actually, secretly, this was part of my gamer tactic, to harpoon my friends whilst they were holding some treasure, because they're a much bigger target. Isaac then tries to kill himself by jumping in front of the harpoon gun, which is basically just a spear attached to a rope, so you can imagine the damage that would do. He says he was trying to do that, and I'm like, sure, gamer, if you say so. Theo's also put on some makeup, so he looks lovely. He then starts charging 5 doubloons for us to look up his skirt, and it all just gets a little bit weird. Just admiring the treasure, looking very nice. Theo then says, wait, we forgot to get the Marauder's chest. And I say, well, do you want to get it? And he says, no, don't bother. So we leave. I don't understand Theo sometimes. He'll be saying, oh, let's go get something, and then he'll just leave. Isaac finds it amusing to sit in front of me so I can't see. Little does he know that you can't block Sea of Thieves characters. They just walk straight through each other. So that wasn't a very tactical gamer play by him. Theo tries to put a chest down, which is just amusing. Isaac then tries to find a good song to mourn the rowboat with, and we all share a moment of mourning. Moment of silence, please, for the rowboat. So sad. Isaac plays on for like 2 seconds and then fires Theo out of a cannon. Yet another epic prank in what has just been a series of epic pranks. Theo then says, "Heck you!" and then decides he will be mature and catch a mermaid. He then realises that, oh wait! I forgot to dig up the ashen key. Me and Isaac both say, "Oh no!" Anyway, and carry on to the outpost. Theo insists that he goes back for it and shoots himself out of a cannon. We are extremely far away though, and he comes up short. Then the Megalodon spawns. Now, if I wasn't talking, you may have heard some music, but I was. It was basically like a better version of the Jaws theme. Isaac tries to harpoon it because he's seen people do that, and it basically just allows our ship to be dragged along by the Megalodon. Unfortunately, we aren't close enough. That would have been some sick content. We then get too close to the island, and he has to stay away. Good. Now my recording footage cuts out soon. I didn't realise, so you miss all of the selling and stuff. But I can absolutely assure you that we got lots of dosh. It was at least 50,000. Helps with our emissary, and also because we had the emissary, that was ideal. Now this is the outro bit. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure you do hit the like button. Hey, why not subscribe if you want to see more content? I don't mind, completely up to you. See you guys next time. Goodbye.